question that interests me literally is how do they go about navigating it all? It came down to some very interesting stuff. A lot of tests were done on homing pigeons. Now, homing pigeons know how to get home, right? How do they find it? In order to test that, they took some homing pigeons and put translucent lenses over their eyes, contact lenses, so they could not see any details. They did fine, except for one thing. They couldn't see the ground. So they would get to the place they needed to be. They had no idea how high in the air they were, though. So all they could do was go in circles, smaller and smaller circles. And finally, they just stopped dead and flapped madly as they went slowly down to wherever that ground was. And it worked. Now, we know that one way of finding your location is to get the sun angle. How high is it above the ground at a particular time of day? Another thing you can do, and this has been demonstrated, is use the polarization of light. So you have these two factors of sunlight that can be used to find your place and find your location. And the bees are expert at it. It turns out with some tests that those homing pigeons use it also. What about a cloudy day? Bees fly on cloudy days. They do just fine. And in fact, the homing pigeons with the lenses over their eyes, they couldn't use any property of light. How did they find anything? Turns out there are tiny magnetic particles at the back of their heads. And apparently, they use the magnetic field of the earth very sensitively. Now, bees do not have magnetic particles in the back of their heads. Their magnetic particles are in the abdomen, but I don't know. But they do use magnetism. Well then, suppose you put these lenses on a homing pigeon and put a little bar magnet on the top of their head. Now you've got one thoroughly confused bird. So we've kind of figured out the territory, right? And I think the same kind of thing goes for the honeybees. They also use the same techniques, apparently. I think that's just plain fantastic. And I love stuff like that. Figuring it out. Maybe I'll just stop there because I think it's very interesting. I'll just hand it over now and say that's my speech.
All right. Thank you, Richard.